Rudy, I really
Dude.
feel like I have to get some stuff off my chest. There's been so much in the news about lockdown breaking and people trying to kind of sweep it under the carpet. I can't feel like I can do this anymore. I have to come clean and tell you what's been going on, how it's been affecting me, and this thing that would have broken the rules quite seriously if more people had found out about it.
This sounds serious. Let's sit down and talk. I mean, this is let's air this out here. I know this is going to be difficult for you, but I want you to know that we're doing this podcast where we're chasing down 50 episodes soon, and if there's been some wrongdoing, it's probably best to get it out there. And as you said, let's be honest. So tell me, tell me what happened, and let's see if we can heal.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to apologize to our listeners for they put a lot of faith in both of us to. I assume so. I don't know. They don't really ever talk to us, but they put all this faith in us to be like the shining beacons of light, kind of exposing all the bad things about the gaming industry, or I don't know, what is it we do here? Make fun of people.
Voices?
Silly voice, yeah, stupid characters, that sort of thing. Yeah. Oh, it's a good laugh. But yes, we should be beyond scrutiny, and I feel like I've just completely let the side down here. So it was an event. I thought it was a work thing. I really did think it was a work thing, but it turns out it may have been more social and gaming related than I realised.
Okay, so I think really for our listeners and for myself, really to understand the gravity of this, and obviously, we're talking about if there was a breach of lockdown, when we were all staying in to save people's lives, that this is a serious thing that will probably be a resigning matter certainly from the podcast. But let's give us the details that we need to know to make that kind of judgment. What happened, Dante? What was the scenario?
Okay, well, first off, I think it was curry.
Right, okay.
And I think someone else had got some Chinese food as well, but there was definitely curry, because I remember the smell the next morning.
Okay. And was there, I hate to say it, but was there cake?
There was cake! There was definitely cake. I know, okay. I should have seen the signs, but there was definitely cake, and how did I not see that this was a party?
And there was people there that were from outside your household in that?
Yeah, there were people there. There was all sorts of people there. There was this guy that we used to hang out with, came round there as well with the pleb of the month. I forget his name. You were there.
And I think what? I didn't come to any party. I didn't break. What?
No, you were definitely there. I remember it clearly now. That you were absolutely 100% at this event.
Well, no, I really don't think so. I didn't do anything during lockdown. I literally didn't go out. What? So
okay, what happened? Coming back to me now. Yes, it wasn't a work event. It was a LAN party.
LAN party.
Yes, a LAN party. There was Quake 2, Counter-Strike, and a little bit of Half-Life.
Sorry, LAN party. This is ringing a bell. But can I just ask a quick question? Was there an N64 in the front room as well, playing?
Yes, exactly. There was an N64 in the front room.
Yeah.
Do you remember it too? Oh no, we're both in trouble.
Well, I remember it, but if my memory serves, that was 1998.
Yeah, it was not 1990. Oh my.
Yeah, that wasn't.
How drunk did I get? Oh, jeez.
That wasn't lockdown.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, but if it was in lockdown, it totally would have broken the rules.
Yeah, but that was something like 20 plus years, 22 years or something, before COVID actually happened. So, yes, you are right. It would have broken COVID rules had it occurred during lockdown. Unfortunately, it occurred when we were 16.
No, it doesn't matter. The people are going to lose faith in us unless I do the only decent thing that I consider my position, and it's found wanting. And yeah, I'm going to have to resign from the podcast effective immediately.
Well, I think I'll have to, considering everything you've just told me that, you didn't break lockdown, you are describing a social event that happened over 22 years ago. I'm going to have to accept your resignation from the Jambags Podcast.
Oh no, I've put my whole life and like minutes of my effort into writing and kind of producing this podcast. What am I going to do now? Oh no.
I'm sorry, it's just what the people demand. Hey Jambaggers, welcome to another episode of the Jambags Comedy Gaming Podcast with myself, Rudy Manchego, and it will be a solo podcast since Dante's dramatic resignation after it was revealed he broke lockdown nearly 22 years before lockdown actually started. It's going to be difficult to move on without him.
And me, Dante Rodriguez. Hello.
What the heck? What, you resigned earlier? You resigned literally minutes ago.
Yeah, it's been a few minutes. Nobody cares anymore. It's like a new news cycle. Do you not realise there's a war on? We're not in any way connected to this war, but if we start having uncertainty during times of war, then God, think of the children, maybe?
So wait a sec. I just want to understand. You coming back after what can only be described as about a 40 to 50 second break from the podcast is in some way going to help the war efforts of the besieged Ukraine.
Yeah, absolutely. People don't care about it anymore. They just want us to see us out there doing what's right for the security of the free world or something. You
know what? I'm not even touching that topic with a 10-foot bar. I'd say welcome back from your very, very brief exile.
Oh, it was hell. Private hell. I'm glad to be back though, Rudy. How?
You literally just got yourself a beer. I could hear you opening it. That's all that happened.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's the start of a new podcast. It's been a while. What's you playing?
Okay. In terms of gaming, I am playing Beyond a Steel Sky at the moment.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying that. It's nice to have a game that's not quite so combat centric. It's a bit more kind of puzzles and thinking through and all that sort of stuff. I'm trying not to use the online hints too much, but it just kind of seems to be the way of things at the moment. But yeah, I've been doing that one. I've been playing Mafia 3 a little bit as well, just before I started playing that one. I played that before, but I know just kind of bounced off it for a little bit. So it's one from way back in the old backlog blue balls. Is that one? Is Mafia 3?
Okay, yeah, that's possibly going way back to the early episodes, maybe before that.
Quite may not even have mentioned it before. But the soundtrack on that game is absolutely killer. All that kind of 60s sort of post-Vietnam type music in there is really good, and the story is pretty decent. So how about yourself, Rudy? What have you been gaming?
Well, between this last podcast and this one, obviously, I have finished Elden Ring.
Obviously.
Put a worryingly amount of hours into that game, but I finished it. So what are we doing in the meantime? Well, I've gone back to Horizon Forbidden West on PS5. It's very hard to go back to from playing Elden Ring because it's a kind of open world, but I suppose it's far more traditional in its structure. But I've been enjoying that. But I've also been getting into some narrative games. So I finished up Coffee Talk on the Switch. I'm currently playing through Kentucky Route Zero. I did buy Trek to Yomi or Yummy. Trek to Yum.
You bought that?
I bought it, yes.
Despite the fact that it's on Game Pass. Do you still have Game Pass?
I do still have Game Pass, but I wanted to play it on my Steam Deck. So I bought it on Steam and then realised the characters are too small on the Steam Deck, so I should have just got on PC. But anyway, on Xbox. But never mind. You live and learn. So yeah, that's what I've been, and I've also been doing a bit of dabbling in small retro games. I'll come on to it later, but I have made a shocking discovery when it comes to an old console. So I've been playing a fair few thingles over the last month. So, and I think I'll be on probably Horizon Forbidden West for a good while longer, since it seems to be quite another large game. So yeah.
What's coming out this year? What are we looking forward to? What's ahead?
Obviously, the greatest game of all time, Silk Song, will come out hopefully maybe this year. I don't know. been.
It seems pretty unlikely. I mean, I don't know that much about Hollow Knight, apart from the small amount that I played it. But have they even given a release date for that yet?
No, they don't. No. God of War Ragnarok is still supposed to be 2022. So that'll be amazing if that does come out. Apart from that, I'm really not sure what I'm looking forward to. I'm sure there are going to be some great games, but I
mean, it kind of feels like the games that were in development that came out during lockdown have been kind of in development for a while. So now I think we're probably going to start seeing maybe the sort of slowdown of games that were being created during lockdown that have had the big hits and have been sort of slowed down. So
yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I think there'll be some cracking games coming out then on the year, but yeah. Any Jambaggers, if you'd like to leave a message on one of our socials about games you're looking forward to this year, we'd love to hear from you. Please let us know what's... because we really didn't research that segment with the upcoming release schedule. There's probably like a ton of really great games coming out soon, but absolutely. It is Silksong. I don't give a crap. So, but cool. But we actually have a pretty, I'm going to say, I've said it before, but jam-packed show for everyone this week. We have quite a few news stories coming up and quite a few other features which we're working on, so we hope you guys like it. But should we move on?
On to From the Jambags.
Oh yeah.
And hello, Jambaggers. Welcome to another edition of From the Jambags, where we give you the monthly news nuggets from all around the gaming industry, don't we, Rudy?
Oh, this is so nuggety that it's like having a box of nuggets to chew on.
Did you not make it for dinner tonight? Did you not go for a sort of Scottish-sounding fast food chain where you can have nuggets with kind of Scottish names?
I did not.
Power your brain.
I am quite hungry. But look, I'm a professional. I don't let that get in the way of delivering a gosh damn good podcast.
No,
you
absolutely.
know that.
Oh,
so let's wrap this up pretty quickly. Let's wrap this up pretty quickly so that I can get some finger licking good stuff in me. I don't know.
No, too much brand switching there, and we need to kind of avoid. You don't want to get sued by fast food companies.
No, I like to lick my fingers. I've got a problem.
No,
it's nothing to do with food. I just
like to.
Them a lot.
Okay, mildly aroused by that. But let's move on to the next part. So, okay, so our first item from the Jambags, a little news nugget for you all now. So I said nuggets again, and it's just going to make your tummy rumble, and it's going to come through on the sound. But okay. Developers of the highly successful Borderlands shooter series, Deep Shifter Games, have come under criticism for releasing a piece of DLC for their latest spin-off game from the Borderlands universe.
But I thought, the Borderlands are renowned for having lots of DLC content, and people lap it up. So I don't. Yeah. What's the problem with that? I can't.
Well, the issue, like the previous Borderlands, kind of Borderlands 2, Borderlands, the one what came before the second one, but after the first one, what was this one? The newest one that they've released is the Island of Dr. Morov the Same, and that's the name of the DLC. I forget the name of the actual DLC for it, but apparently the DLC costs around about $10, depending on your territory and that sort of thing.
Reasonable price.
Takes approximately 10 minutes to complete.
Okay, so we're talking $1 a minute.
Basically $1 a minute, yeah. So not the best value there, because generally, people that like the Borderlands games, they have its fans. It's one that I've kind of got a love-hate relationship with. But people that buy it and get the DLC often say that they're substantial DLC packs, whereas this one, a lot of people are saying either should have been included with the main game or is just there to pad out the season pass and make it look more value than it actually is.
I mean, it's a complicated question. Is it value over time? I mean, some of the, sort of best gaming experience I've had are very short experiences, where you still pay. But it does see if you're going to just, for $10 an hour. I mean, you could for 10 minutes. That's not a great time investment proposition, is it?
Can't say. Generally you'd hope that DLC would at least last a weekend. I mean, some DLC I bought for Trying to think of the games I bought it for, like Dead, Dishonored, and that sort of thing. Get these 4 extra items as part of the season pass, even though one of them is really barely even an item itself. It's actually more like 3, but yeah, there's a lot of internet backlash about this one. A lot of players that are unhappy about it, and I think they have a legitimate reason to, don't you, Rudy?
I mean, I guess so. But I mean, really, when it comes to Borderlands and it's kind of the series, it's, as I said, it's a love-hate thing. You said it yourself. So who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, I have to see what's going on in the mind of old Randy Bitchford about what's going on with that. And see what they're trying to kind of screw people out of. But let's move on to our next news nugget, please.
Yeah, actually, and I'm gonna try and segue actually in stories like to talking about talking about like trying to rip people off and go straight into. So Intel have announced in their recent earnings call that they believe that the chip shortage, which is really crippling a lot of the games industry, it's really affecting this gen and its success. It's really hard to get a picture of who's leading it, etc. But they're coming out saying that with the chip shortage expected to continue into 2024.
2024, so not next year, but the year after. Jeez.
Yeah, potentially, because of the time it takes to spin up more factories and more production, etc., all those complicated things.
Because it's not just consoles, is it? It's like graphics cards.
It's anything that's got a chip in it, man. Anything you want to sort of tech stuff. So the scalpers so what's happened is the scalpers from Scalper Island have stepped in to say that, look, they're extending their business now because they expected that by now they would be sort of, largely out of business. But to serve the community, they're going to continue scalping all the way through to 2024. And they are now going to, that they're really, going to be the place to go to get GPUs, Steam Decks, PS5s, Xbox Series X, chips for cars, and pretty much anything else you might need in daily life, including fruit, veg, water, and oxygen. So they are consolidating their position.
I used to think that this whole scalper thing was a bad thing, but I can't think how we ever bought anything without them now.
It seems weird to think that there was a time when I would go into a shop and just buy something.
Yeah.
Instead of pre-ordering it 6 years before I actually want it,
or kind of sitting on there at midnight on a date when it comes out and pressing refresh over and over again on a browser.
Yeah, only to be ultimately disappointed. But hey, what can I say? So basically, for those of you sort of saying the scalpers are here to stay, and they are scalping everything, even organs and stuff like that. It's what they do.
I feel like we're kind of stretching into the other definition of scalping here, which is kind of a dark place for us to be.
That's going to be where it ends up. I guarantee it.
So we're going to be buying actual scalps from Scalper Island
to keep us warm when all the fuel we can't afford the fuel. Yeah.
Nice. A little blanket made of scalps, delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, going to move on to and talk about some of the just general speculation. Again, it's kind of a little bit of a loose news story here, but there does seem to be a lot of evidence surrounding this that the good old Tentacle Games, the kind of biggest game company from Japan, maker of the Tentacle consoles, the Tentacles are potentially taking on DP Games.
Wow.
Yeah. So
digital paintings.
Digital paintings, yes, because DP couldn't stand for anything else.
Yeah.
It could be, if they were to purchase that company, that could have some serious ripples in the gaming scape. I mean, would you say that's even bigger than Hacktivision Snowstorm being snapped up by Ubisoft?
I mean, it's another seismic shift that's going to, again, really reduce the third party market, quite massively. It's a big deal. Digital paintings go and RAM Morbucks is shoved out. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't miss Rand. I mean, he's not one of our more interesting voices that we do on the podcast, but yeah, it would be an interesting development. Let's say. I mean, we've got Ubisoft are now underneath MaxiPad or above it. I don't know which way round that would go, but we've also got Beelzebub Games, who've also been purchased by MaxiPad. I feel like Tentacle are going to want to hit back with something big, and so far they did. They did trampoline games, didn't they? And that was
trampoline games, yeah. I think it's just in a kind of, as you said, our MaxiPad eyeing up Ubisoft, quite possibly. DP a good way to go. Could
DP is always a good way to go if you.
DP is a choice to go. There's there's other sort of big third parties. I reckon.
Who else is left?
From Software is more than likely going to go. There's I don't know. There's so many. There's very few third parties. There's
Triangle Capricorn, wasn't it?
Yeah, Capricorn. There's Capsicum Games. There, all these publishers and stuff like that. They're all fair game right now, and it's kind of I suppose it's good for people like us to talk about seismic changes in the industry, but it's pretty bad for consumers really all around, I think. So, but yeah, it's speculation. I think each episode we kind of don't know whether we're going to have to stop the press to come up because someone's bought someone eventually, like Maxipal are going to buy themselves.
Well, yeah, no, I think that's all that's going to be left at some point. That's Maxipal are just going to have to say, yeah, we're going to purchase ourselves, or their parent company is going to have to purchase them again, and then they're going to have to get another parent company to purchase that parent company, and eventually there'll be grandparent companies. I don't know how it works. Great grandparent companies. Yeah, it's all sounding a bit financial to me. I don't really know what's going on. So,
okay. Well, I can see something that's a bit simpler now about our final news story, which is it's about Nintendo actually. Who
Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo. Now, there's a bit of an ongoing joke about Nintendo is that they're quite slow to catch up with trends in modern gaming. If you look back and to say that they were very late to the party with online play and have notoriously been quite poor at offering like online play and solutions for that.
They still haven't. They haven't even taken on like trophies or achievements or anything like that.
Exactly. They were very late to HD console gaming. They only got into that with the Wii U, which was 2011-12 time. And things like cloud saves always been a bit behind. Apps, digital stores, all that stuff. Not really quite this, but. It's looking like, so what they tend to do is it takes them behind and they try and do this kind of major modernization. And it seems that Nintendo are now trying to modernize and get, become a bit more of the modern gaming scene as they have now too started to apparently, allegedly abuse their employees. So it's like, where a lot of current game companies, have been for the last good few years. Nintendo's come to that point and going, to compete better, we need to do what they do, but later. And now they're just thinking, well, maybe we need to start abusing our employees a bit. So, yeah, they're just getting on with it, and that's the way that Nintendo goes. They know exactly how to compete with companies from 10 years ago.
I feel like they're still going to be putting their own sort of little Nintendo spin on it. So the abuse to the employees will probably involve having some sort of Venus flytrap type plant shoved.
Yeah, I mean,
probably don't want it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that what will happen is that, perhaps rather than sort of some of the normal physical abuse, it'd be like one of the execs just like jumps on their heads. Or
does their plumbing really badly.
Or gets people from different departments to fight each other on the edge of a building until one of them falls off. Yeah.
Swaps all the mushrooms in the canteen for ones which make people get really big.
Yeah, exactly. So it's chaotic, but in a way it's just a sign of times, which is that something's an industry establishment when Nintendo do it, because typically in a lot of ways, for most stuff, they innovate in some areas, but a lot of times they're always playing catch up, and now they're playing catch up and realise they need to treat their staff like
to get on with it, just to be proper video game companies and
are we
going to be joining them in with Bobby Kotick and Hideo Mufaka in a few years, like in the next sketches based on those people?
Quite possibly. But, that does round up anyway our gaming news segment from the Jambags. So let's move on to a little segment we like to call Retro Corner. Metrofauna?
No, Retro Corner.
Oh, Dante, have I got something for you? It's not technically retro because this is cutting edge, but I just had to say, I'm just going to stamp all over it. Right.
All right. Okay. I'm here with you. Just kind of calm down a bit. Say, nice and straightforward. Just tell me one thing after another. I mean, what have you discovered? What's happened?
The gaming is about to undergo probably the biggest shift in its technology ever. You are not going to
bigger than the Kinect.
Bigger than the Kinect.
Ooh.
Bigger than the Kinect. Bigger than the Wii. Bigger than the like rocket launcher, Super Nintendo, Super Scope.
Oh, the scope, yeah, man.
Yeah, or the Menace or whatever it's called for the Sega. I mean, bigger than the fishing reel for the Dreamcast. Okay, this is my right. Have you? Okay, put it this way. Let me just picture to you understand. Right? Have you noticed that on games you've got normally got a flat telly? Yeah.
Yeah. Normally there's a flat telly, like even flat screens are the thing now. But
exactly. So you got a flat telly, yeah. So that is a 2-dimensional telly because it's flat. Yeah, it can't show.
Yeah.
What if I told you?
Mm-hmm.
But there was a way.
Yeah.
For a gaming experience to go beyond 2D. In fact, into the world of 3 dimensions.
The third dimension.
Yeah. 3D is what it's called, right? Because I didn't even know this was possible yet, but I hooked up what I can describe as a dream machine or PlayStation 3 to a TV that had got 3D glasses, and some, by that I mean 3 games, in my library had got 3D modes, and I put the glasses on. Wow. And it was like it was coming out of the screen. I mean, you would not seriously that this is just. I mean, this is gonna blow gaming. I mean, I don't even know how to.
That does sound fully, absolutely, 100% revolutionary, and would have completely blown my mind at that LAN party we were at in 1998. However, it's not quite so cutting edge now. Do you not realise?
Right. I think I just need to. I think you're being a bit of a dick here because, all right.
Okay, well, yeah,
flat screen
TV, a bit of a dick. That's what I do. But
flat screen TV, yeah, 2 dimensions.
Yeah,
put some glasses on, 3D.
Right.
It feels like it's coming out of the telly at you. I was playing some God of War. And Kratos' chains were like bigger and stuff, and not 2-dimensional. Can you imagine what this could do to the medium? This is going to be the biggest craze ever. I don't think we're ever going to play games without them again. I don't even. This is just.
Sorry to skip ahead and burst your bubble a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Because I mean, have you heard of the PSVR?
The what?
The PlayStation, VR, Oculus, even the 3DS, which goes a little bit further back.
You're just talking complete. I mean, you don't quite understand. I've got a 3DS here. It's in my back pocket. Look. What the hell is this?
This is a 3DS. I'm surprised you don't have one. You're more of a Nintendo fanboy than I am.
Oh, what devilry is this? I don't even have glasses on and it's coming out of the screen. Oh, put it away, devil child. That's not natural. You shouldn't be able to do that. The only way I could get that effect was putting glasses on. I can't.
Why have you got that crucifix? That's huge. Where did you pull that from?
I always have it on me just for situations where I get tempted by the devil. Oh, good Lord. I can't believe it. A little machine like that made things leap out without glasses on. That must be come from an advanced government testing lab or something. I don't understand.
No, it's from Japan, maybe 2012, 2013, something like that.
What are you on about? This is. Does the government know you've got this technology?
Okay, they're probably aware or not caring necessarily. And going back to the old PSVR, just you see those things in the corner, just put those on just for a second.
Over what?
Over. I mean, you wear glasses sometimes, I think, but just take those off and put these on. And I'm just going to hit this button here, and all of a sudden you're going to be in a little place called Skyrim.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Finally, bit of the old sort of stardom and the limelight that I deserve of this particular podcast. It's the Dante Rodriguez Show. We might rename it to that. I don't know. Maybe we'll stick with Jambags. Not 100% sure, but yeah. Okay. Okay. Why can I? Why does it smell like a tramp and various different kind of fish-based products?
Hello.
Mr. Peter MolnYES, great friend of the podcast. Welcome to the Jambags Podcast. I did not know you were going to be here.
No, where's the good-looking one?
I'm right here. What are you talking about?
No, forget it. Yeah, well, I thought I could come on today to do a bit of a sales pitch to your listeners.
Okay, well, I mean, we're always happy to have you here, Peter.
Have you heard?
A little bit more notice would have been great, but go ahead.
Well, no, I was hanging outside, to be honest, and I heard you talking, so I thought I'd come in.
Yeah, you seem to do that quite a lot, don't you? That's where.
Yeah, well, you know,
anyway.
it's cheaper than paying me on electricity. Anyway, look, the thing is that Peter MolnYES is known for being an innovator and making promises that are normally eventually kept, possibly. So what I've decided to do is offer all of my fans. Have you heard of something called a non-fungus token?
That sounds like some sort of an acronym that is occasionally talked about in gaming news.
Yeah,
we try not to pay attention to it.
It's this amazing investment you can make in NFT. And what I've been doing is making these fungus tokens that people could use the cock chain for, and they could basically buy things, assets, kind of, well, not buy them because they're worthless, but they could buy assets that are locked just to them, and let's say someone else gets them, and then it'll be basically like having a JPEG that is yours, but not really. And
yeah, because I can just right click on that thing and hit save as.
Well, no, you can do, but you're not really doing. You are doing that, but you're not technically owning it. So, but
yeah, but I mean, I don't really need to.
Anyway, for our listeners, or for your listeners, I don't know, they're not mine. They ought to be mine, but I would like to unveil my new art collection of bored anus.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
Oh, well, that's, I mean, could do with a bit of bleach, I think, to be honest, but yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what, it's interesting you say that, because you could have a bleach one. Basically, I've based this on one of the characters from my Dragon's Hacky Sack classic series from the Commodore 64. Yes. And basically, yeah, it's a set of anuses that look bored, but they've got different things on, like, one's got a hat on the anus, and the other one's looking bored, but is drinking a kind of something that's fizzy. Another one is pondering the mystery of its own anal existence. That
one's winking at me. Why is that one winking at me?
Oh, that one's called the Jimmy. So basically, you can all anyone can get hold of one of these. Now, what I'm going to do for your guys' offering is that I'm offering the first bored anus to one of your listeners for the price of only £2.3 billion.
Oh, 2.3 billion. Well, I mean, I don't know if any of our listeners kind of have that cash lying around, but it's ambitious. I like it.
Well, it's worth a lot. I mean, admittedly, it's been on auction, and all I've got so far is 0.00000000000000000000000001 of a crypto coin. Or I believe approximately 0.01 USD, but everyone's going mad for NFTs. The market's definitely not collapsing. This is going to be like worth cajillions.
It's the future. Everyone's saying it. I mean, okay, we might be a little bit behind. I
don't think so. This is caught in bloody edge.
Yeah, that sounds painful.
I tell you what, have you got a couple of billion for this board anus picture? Look, I'll name it Dante.
Oh, no, that's... Why did you make it so big?
Well, it's it's lifelike, innit? But I could do that, and then I'm also keep a copy myself by right-clicking it, but you could have the digital ownership of that, so you can have the Dante Rodriguez board anus wherever you hang in, well, not hanging because it's not real, but you could have it on your wallpaper, maybe on your computer there.
Yeah, because I can't do that with anyone else's wallpaper by right-clicking on it.
No, but it wouldn't be. But you own the digital distribution rights for that, unless someone else distributes it quite easily.
Well, yeah, I mean, you drive an interesting bargain.
Okay, look, it's yours for $2,000 million.
2,000 million, yes. Let me have a thing. No, I'm not buying your Fungus tokens.
Why are you throwing my stuff out? What are you doing with the board anus?
No. Come on, you're scaring away the real guests that we have. We don't want it to smell like fish guts in here. Come on, take. What is this inside your coat? Oh, man. What
20 quid for this. It's actually my board anus in a jar.
No.
Okay, then, go, guys, bye.
No, go sell that on OnlyFans. Ugh.
Hey, Dante, I'm back. Yeah, don't worry. Thanks for that. I've had some drugs, and I'm safe to say
good.
I am no longer in a 3D world. Everything is back to being totally flat and 2D. That whole thing was just a
even
funny
I look
thing.
flat to you right now. I look flat. I'm completely. There's no third dimension here. You actually see.
Of course not. I haven't got my glasses on. It's not. I wouldn't. You would. But hang a minute. What are you doing outside our office with like this table? And it looks like a bake sale. What are you doing? What have you got?
Rudy, I am 100% glad you asked that. Now,
why is there a cash register there?
Well, because we're having kind of a fire sale here, Rudy. We are fully going on to since it's working so incredibly well for good old Square Enix. I thought we could sell off all of our IPs, all the things that we've made, all of our characters, so we can focus on things that are more important. Well, I mean, I don't think we've registered them anywhere, but all those crazy characters we've made, like Gene Sterning, who's not based on anybody real at all. So there was one here a minute ago, Peter MolnYES something.
I don't know about him. He sounds like a swell fella. But hang on, I've got just in case something. Quick question for you. What does IP stand for?
Intellectual property. It's a thing that we own. That would like to have the rights to, because we made it. I mean, there's a few things that we totally didn't rip off from other people. So you know how Square Enix, they've sold off Tomb Raider, they've sold off Deus Ex, which I would really like to see a sequel to. I think there's something else that Square Enix are really well known for. They've sold it off because they really want to make their focus all this metabolics, all this kind of blockchain, cockchain, I think it was called at some point.
So I've got one flaw in this legally. I don't know, but when you say intellectual, there's nothing actually intellectual about any of our content.
No, that is a good point. No, there's nothing remotely smart about any of it. It's all just kind of stupid voices.
Okay, so can I just see what you're proposing? So let's have a look. So you're selling off Dan Danielson, which admittedly is with Stadia going. That's okay.
Yeah,
you're selling off.
We're not going to be using him too much anymore, are we?
Yeah.
Even though the music is great.
I like the music. Yes. Bobby Kochlick. Well, to be honest, also might be on something there. Herbert Le Frenchman. Ubisoft selling off.
DP. Ran more bucks.
Cyril McMoist.
Oh yes, Cyril. Can't beat Cyril, and all of our good segments as well. I mean, we just had that retro corner, but that's going to go.
State of the Gaming Nation.
Yeah, no, I mean we've had some really good segments on that one.
You're not selling from the Jambags segments, are you?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's probably the thing. It's our bread and butter. It's the thing that most people associate with the Jambags name. It's going to get the most money because we want to make some money so we can invest it into something that makes that's more important.
Such as.
Well, I mean, the only thing we've got left is our backlog Blue Balls, to be honest. So it's basically we're going to become the Blue Balls podcast.
But I'm fairly certain that that's the least popular segment on our show, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's maybe 10 people to find they either kind of switch off completely or they kind of skip past it.
Yeah, I mean, our analytics just die whenever we bring up the games we aren't actually playing, which is admittedly makes a lot of sense.
It's a bit of a flaw in its concept, really. But like I said, once we've kind of got all the money from selling off all these IPs, we can then devote all the kind of our energy into creating things that are part of the metaverse.
What is
the metaverse is that? Yeah.
No. It's 2D, isn't it?
It probably is 2D. Yeah, it's all very, very blocky, very square.
Okay, good. Because if it was anything that wasn't 2D, I'd probably have a bit of a funny turn.
Yeah, it'd be a bit like me with hearing that Cyberpunk had been delayed yet again, even though it's out now, and even though it's probably should have still been delayed even further. But never mind, not going to think about that too much. Yes. So now all of our podcasts will just be about things that make our balls go blue. So instead of just being about games, maybe it's films that we've not gotten to, or albums, or I don't know, other stuff we're not doing.
Life experiences.
Yes. Enjoying company of members of the opposite gender. Yeah.
Or the same.
and Jambaggers, that is bringing us towards the end of another monthly Jambags Comedy Gaming Podcast. As you know, we always finish off with a round of questions from our listeners, and we have got some doozies this month, don't we, Rudy?
We do have some doozies. We have some ones that, I think are going to be pretty out there and controversial, dealing with some big news, some big questions that we have to answer, or else the gaming industry will collapse. I don't want to over-egg it too much, but
no. But I mean, that's what they come to expect from us now that we've been completely cleared of any lockdown wrongdoing. That we need to kind of come out with a firm position on some of this stuff.
I think so. So I'm going to go into the first into these two monumental questions, and these questions come this month from. Well, they come from the artist formerly known as MolnYES, a wonderful Twitch streamer who now goes by the equally wonderful name of, I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly because I want to get this wrong, of Marpesia, I believe is how it's pronounced, if my dictionary online is correct. And Marpesia does some amazing Twitch streams and YouTube videos. Do go check out her YouTube channel and check out some of the streams as well. But questions are, why working in the games industry is bad for your health?
Oh, do we work in the gaming industry? Are we technically doing
I
that?
think, what we do work. I mean, we don't work in the sense that we don't make any money or have any listeners or have any kind of success. But we do talk about games, and I think, and we've been to a few games conventions, and although we haven't had press passes, we pretended like we have press passes.
We have kind of gone around with a kind of entitlement attitude to
that is very true.
As if we had had press passes.
So and here's one thing I can attest to this, which is just now while getting ready to record this podcast episode, I actually sat on myself when I sat down too quickly, and I would suggest that's another example of gaming being bad for your health.
Absolutely, and that's definitely an example of how being involved in the gaming industry is just generally bad for you. I was gaming the other night, and I wore my contact lenses for too long, and they went a bit red, and I was mildly irritated by that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly certain that's what Marpezias means by the question. I suppose it could also involve, why does so many people in the game industry seem to be exploited by their employers, driven to working unreasonably long hours in a quest or never-ending perfection, only to be often badly treated in terms of pay or other kinds of hierarchical abuse.
If this was a serious podcast and I was asked to give a serious answer, I'd probably say something along the lines of a general lack of regulation in the video games industry at all. No one's kind of really giving any oversight to this.
I think, again, if I were in any way intelligent enough to give a good answer to this, I would say it's exactly that, combined with this kind of industry-wide belief that creativity is only, of creation is only possible through hardship. And I think there's this kind of thing of, you have to have gone through this crucible of fire to make anything worthwhile. It's impossible to produce anything worthwhile otherwise. And I think that is used as an excuse, as you said, to drive the, without regulation means you can justify anything. And I think that's largely, and it's an industry people want to work in because people love games. It's
people do love games, and I think that there's a whole complete disconnect with the people that are kind of demanding that each new game, each iteration of a franchise makes more money than the last one forever and ever and ever.
Completely, and quicker turnaround times and all that kind of stuff. So hey, I mean, but obviously we aren't serious people, so that isn't what we'd say. We probably would say that, to be honest, it's hard making gaming podcasts, and sometimes, my throat's killing from just talking this long. So
especially after doing a Peter MolnYES.
I don't know what you mean, but So that is a rather good question. But
too good for us, I feel.
Marpezias follows it up with an even bigger question. So Fortnite is back on Apple devices after Xbox Cloud Gaming Partnership. So basically, big old Apple having a scrapsy with Epic Games about Fortnite, saying you can't have the app on there because you're getting money and we want to have the money. And what Microsoft's done is says, but you can play using our cloud services via a browser. Don't have to have an app for that. Don't have to go on the App Store. Anyone's got a browser. Pew, 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 pew. Take that. We'll get a bit of a cut of the money from Epic, but nowhere near what Apple was taking, and knock yourself out, guys.
I feel like this is going to backfire quite badly. I feel like Apple will literally scorch the earth because of this thing. They cannot possibly be proved wrong in their own kind of godlike kind of. I mean, have you seen the TV show Devs? It's kind of a similar sort of thing to that.
Yeah, I'm not an expert, but I believe that that there's like a little sort of red like nuclear option where the flick a switch and Apple will like just destroy everyone's iPhones or something like that, rather than let them, them do it, or remove access to the internet for everyone's devices, because that's just they don't.
So. And then every single iPhone will then kind of knock out two of the other kind of Android phones, because they're more kind of common than iPhones these days, because all that sort of stuff. And we'll just be reset back to the start. It's kind of going to be like the end of Escape from LA. We're all going to be kind of pulsed out of existence.
Exactly. And I would say spoilers, but I can guarantee that nobody has watched that film as much as me and Dante, or even watched that film at all.
We're going to have another Snake Plissken party.
I think here's what's actually will happen is at the moment that this goes live, what will happen is everyone who's got an Apple device just going to look to their screens, and there'll be like a video of Steve Jobs. And obviously it was recorded before his death, but he's closely saying, like, I always knew this day would come when you guys couldn't be trusted to, not bow before the might of Apple. And then what happens is that the screen will start to fade out, and it'll just be like a puff of smoke come out of like the speaker ports, and go, and everyone's iPhones just dies, and every bit, and all the cloud data, everything they had just lost for daring to go against Apple. That's what's going to happen. To
prove them wrong.
That is what's going to happen. I think something like that. Or even worse, they just destroy the entire Earth in one go. Like they just nuke everything. I don't know. Every person's iPhone is secretly a tactical nuclear weapon, and it just takes them on, it just activates and blows everyone up.
I hope the easily impressionable people that go in for conspiracy theories like that aren't listening to our podcast, because this is starting to sound a little bit too plausible.
It would be a way to get more listeners, though, wouldn't it? Like,
True.
We could be, I've got it, poo-anon.
Yeah. Oh, poo-anon, yes.
Yeah. Because we talk a load of poo.
Yes. And
on and on and on. So
and on and on and on, and sort of semi-anonymously, because we use names that aren't really ours.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. I think that's
pooing on. All right, let's do it.
Pooing on. We've just started the new thing. We know what Apple's going to do. We're watching you.
Yeah, we know
Zombie
what your
Steve Jobs.
Yeah,
and Tim Robot Cook.
Whatever.
We know you're not real. You're made out of vegan cheese. Anyway, Dante, do you have some more questions?
Next question. Yes, we have.
Thank you, Marpezio. Fantastic questions.
Yes, we do have a question that I think is one of the best questions we've had from Khaleesi, I think a queen of something or other. I don't know. Game of Thrones is lame now.
Bad series endings.
Yeah. Queen of bad endings. Yes. So, which game or series of games would you most like to become, or would you most enjoy to see as a porn parody? In the kind of idea that if a thing exists, this is one of the kind of rules of life. If a thing exists, there's a porn version of it. What game series would you most like to see as a porn parody?
This is a no-brainer for me. I can answer that right now because it's very topical, which is that the last few weeks in the British political news press has revealed one thing. I would suggest I would like to see Farming Simulator 2022, because there are some hot ass tractors that you just, I mean, trust me, for those, recently British MP was caught out watching adult material that he said he was looking for tractors. So I can imagine it being a little leap, sideways leap to Farming Simulator 2022 becoming pretty freaky. Just it's the kind of thing you'd quite happily watch in front of 200 people on telly. Just that's what I'm saying. It's that powerful and persuasive. Yeah, not just at work, but you're kind of on 24-hour news cycle with multiple cameras pointing at you. And that's what I'd be looking at. But sorry, while I just cool down after thinking about that hot piece of tractor ass. Well, how about yourself, Dante? What would you be going for?
That is sort of a tricky one. There's some great ones that you could do. I mean, Grand Theft Anal, that would be one that I'd probably kind of be quite intrigued to see.
Set in a boarding school, obviously.
Well, obviously, yeah. Half-Life Blue Shaft, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're missing out on possibly the best one.
Oh yeah, what we got?
Biocock.
Biocock. I was trying to make one out of. I was going to go with Bioshaft, but yeah, Biocock much better. Yeah.
Yeah. Biocock Infinite would be a massive dongle.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Absolutely. You know, kind of birds in cages and people flying around upstairs and being had things done to them by strange, kind of very Uncle Sammy like kind of computer animatronics. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would be quite dark, but it would still make a great parody.
Yeah, you could, take Adam to make your bits bigger. I don't know.
Therefore, your plasmids and all that sort of thing.
There is. To be honest, I think we're missing a calling out in life. I think there must be obviously we're not allowed to have sex with anyone, but
obviously
because we're just horrendous chodes of men. But
we've been banned by the government.
Yeah, just from even remotely considering breeding. But if we were going to get into it, I think we could have found a good niche here. I think we've got some good ideas already.
Yeah, no, I think we're halfway there with quite. We've got a severe semi going on for some of these ideas.
So yeah, we've got it. I mean, the semi is about all we can manage these days. But yeah, that's yeah.
Okay, so this has gone from quite intellectual discussions to this. Moving on to our next question then. So after some porn parodies, if you were transported into a video game like GTA or something sort of fully immersive, like, I don't know, similar to kind of TV's Westworld or something like that, how would you play a game like that? Would you adopt your moral compass from the life that you have now? Or would you, kind of killing and moving through it without kind of any consequences? Or would you, say it's a game, kind of do whatever you like, or would you adopt let's say conventional morality? What do you think, Rudy?
It's an interesting one, which is that I have noticed myself that I'm quite boring when it comes to role-playing games, particularly where there's senses of morality in them, and I'm generally will play them quite straight. Yes. For example, Disco Elysium, an amazing game, recommended. Everyone in the world goes out and plays it.
Didn't love it.
You didn't love?
No. You tried it, didn't love it.
What do you mean? How far did you get on? This is a different topic. We're going to be here forever. But anyway, in that game, you can make choices about who your character is, and you can be as extreme, or you can just try and get on with the job and actually treat people well. And I just realised I was just properly British and quite polite, and I didn't want to take any of the extreme choices. So I actually got probably a fairly conventional ending in a sense, where I wasn't like, a complete nutcase, communist or fascist or anything like that. So I think I would probably bring my current moral compass. Obviously, but the strange thing about it is a lot of games is that you might have a strong moral compass, you make lots of moral choices, but you'll quite happily mow down and kill thousands of people in between those moral choices. I've noticed that in a lot of games. It's like, Assassin's Creed is a great example, which is like, you can choose to, you can choose to have an affair with your brother's wife, or your stepbrother's wife, whatever it is. You could choose to do that. It's like, that's a big moral decision, and so or, but in between that, you killed 400 people for pretty much looking at you funny. So it's like
pretty much. Yeah,
I would bring my moral compass, I think, with me. I mean, in the sense of that, I don't think if it was like a Westworld kind of scenario. I'd try and be the goodie. Yeah, I think I would try to be the goodie. I think that's who I would try to be, even though I probably would be forced to mercilessly kill everyone.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, for me, my perspective, I feel like my moral compass in video games is actually better than my moral compass in real life, but that's just me. Particularly when it comes to things like role-playing games like Mass Effect, I'll always kind of choose the good guy examples, whereas, in real life, it's like, let's just mow down a few people.
Wow, this is a pretty much tantamount to some kind of like criminal confession, isn't
it? Well, nobody cares. Do I have to resign again now?
I think you're going to jail.
Hey, I've not been specific about any particular people that I ran down, like Mr. R. Cochrane of South Wales, who I may or may not have ended.
Okay.
Oops, no, I've said too much.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think this is probably about the time we have to wrap this podcast up then, because admission of, multiple murders tends to tends to bring the buzz down a little bit. So it does say, where can...
You are such a prissy guy. Just one murder and you get all moralistic on me. Jeez.
Well, I think we kind of answered the question there by saying that I am quite moral in and out of it, but you've got a skewed version of morality. But anyway, Dante, before you get taken away and put in where you deserve to be, which is jail, and play Drop the Soap, what or where can people get us on the socials should they want to get in touch with us?
If they would like to get in touch with us on the socials, you can go through the old Facebook, which is now some sort of meta company. I don't really understand it. But if you search on Facebook for Jambags, you'll find the podcast page on the Facebook. You can also find us on the Twitter. So you're at Jambags_UK. You'll find the account controlled by Rudy Manchego. And at Dante RDRGZJB, you'll find the Dante account. You can interact with us there. You can interact with us through Instagram. There's the official Jambags Instagram account at Jambags_UK. And you can interact with us through the various message boards on our postings. For example, the one on our YouTube site. You can find posts of these podcasts on YouTube, and you can leave comments on there where we will be able to interact with you through the YouTube account. Rudy, even though people are listening to us now, how else could they be listening to us?
Well, I actually have an update to this one because thanks to someone that's already written and asked questions on there, push me into it. We are now available on the Google Podcast Store. So if you are a Google Podcaster user, we are now on there, as well as being on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on Simplecast to Play if you find us via social media. And we're on any good app which uses RSS feed as well. So there are plenty of ways to check us out. And we also post a video version of the podcast with an animated background onto the YouTube, where you can also find some other random videos and bits and bobs we've done in the past. I could also note that if you are interested, I do occasional writing for Any Button Gaming. That's ab-gaming.com, where I do articles once or twice a week, and also feature as a guest occasionally on their podcast, which can be found on their YouTube channel. Just search Any Button Gaming.
Absolutely. We've both been on their podcast.
We have indeed.
A couple
so
of times,
you can check us out there and even see our faces on some of those ones, which is a terrible idea. Don't do it. But
no, don't do that.
You can still just listen to it in the background. So plenty of places to listen to us and get involved. Please do, if you're on any of those platforms, give us a like, subscribe, review, thumbs up, whatever the mode is on there. Makes a huge difference to our analytics. So that'll be fab.
Yeah. Comments and reviews, particularly on some of the podcast sites, go a long way to helping to boost the podcast. So we'd really appreciate it if you wanted to leave us a little review sometime. But thank you very much for listening, Jambaggers. And next time you are facing a moral decision, probably don't think about the guys from Jambags. Hello, Rudy. Hey, you said I had one phone call. I'm making this.
That's what's going on. I haven't seen you in days. What's going on? What's going on? We're getting a podcast episode out.
I'm phoning from the big house, from the Slammer, from
big house.
The jail, Rudy, what? Jail. Look.
What are you doing here?
So.
Oh my God, this is you running people over again, isn't it? You've been called for that. I knew if we put it on the podcast.
No, not even that. They said that was fine. What? Apparently, the guy I ran over was some guy they don't like anyway. But anyway. It's the LAN party, Rudy. It's the LAN party. That was illegal back then.
What do you mean it was illegal back then? It was 1998. There was no lockdown or anything like that.
I had that pirated copy of Duke Nukem 3D, and I gave it to you too.
Oh my God, that was pirated. You put it on the CD-ROM. Oh my God,
that's right. And they're coming for you now.
Oh my God, what do you mean? What do you mean? How do they know where I am?
Well, I had to try and not get kind of the soap dropped on me for a fifth day in a row, so I gave you up.
Oh my God, I can. Oh, they're here. Well, that's it.
It's okay, Rudy. It's not that bad in prison. It's okay. I mean, there's a lot of soap dropping. But...
No, that's it. You're never taking me alive, coppers.
Oh, that sounded. Oh. Okay, so this might be worse than running over a guy in my car. You've just murdered a police. Well, I'll see you in here in a little bit, and we can do the jail podcast. Yay! Jailbags.com.